Bhakti Vriksha. Okay. Who are you? Are you your body or your mind or are you something higher? Do you know who you are or do you merely think you know? And does it really matter? Our materialistic society, with its unenlightened leadership, has made it virtually taboo to inquire into our real higher self. Instead, we use our valuable time maintaining, decorating, and pampering the body for its own sake. Might there be an alternative? Should I?
Yeah, next
The
paragraph.
The first step is to know the difference between a living body and a dead body. What is the difference? The difference is that when someone dies, the spirit soul or the living force leaves the body, and therefore the body is called dead. So there are two things: one, this body, and the other, the living force within the body. We speak of the living force within the body. That is the difference between the science of Krishna consciousness, which is spiritual, and ordinary material science. As such, in the beginning, it is very, very difficult for an ordinary man to appreciate our movement. One must first understand that he is a soul or something other than his body.
Thanks a lot, Madhuri. um, yeah. So
Should I continue or
no, that's fine. So another devotee want to read.
yes?
Otherwise, I'll read. So you can understand at any moment, but it requires a little intelligence. For example, as a child grows, he become a boy. The boy become a young man. The young man become an adult, and the adult become an old man. Throughout all this time, although his body is changing from a child to an old man, he still feel himself to be the same person with the same identity. Just see, the body is changing, but the occupier of the body, the soul, is remaining the same. So we should logically conclude that when our present body dies, we get another body. This is called transmigration of the soul. The first thing is to understand that you are a spirit soul. And because you are a spirit soul, you are changing your body. This is the ABC of spiritual understanding. So when your body is finished, annihilated, you are not finished. You get another body. Just as you may change your coat and shirt. If you come to see me tomorrow wearing a different shirt and a different coat, does that mean you are a different person? No. Similarly, each time you die, you change your bodies. But you, the spirit soul within the body, remain the same. The point has to be understood. Then one can make further progress in the science of Krishna consciousness. The spirit soul is invisible to our material eyes. It is atomic in size. After the destruction of the gross body, which is made up of the senses, blood, bone, fat, and so forth, the subtle body of mind, intelligence, and ego goes on working. And at the time of death, this subtle body carries the small spirit soul to another gross body. The process is just like air carrying a fragrance. Nobody can see where the rose fragrance is coming from, but we know that it is being carried by the air. You cannot see how, but it is being done. Similarly, the process of transmigration of the soul is very subtle. According to the condition of mind at the time of death, the minute spirit soul enter into the womb of a particular mother through the semen of a father, and then the soul develop a particular type of a body given by mother. It may be human being, it may be a cat, a dog, or anything. The soul is present in the heart of the living entity, and it is the source of the energies for maintaining the body. The energy of the soul is spread all over the body, and this is known as consciousness. Since this consciousness spread the energy of the soul all over the body, one can feel pains and pleasure in any part of the body. The soul is individual and he is transmigrating from one body to another. Just as a person transmigrate from babyhood to childhood, from childhood to boyhood, from boyhood to youth, and then to advanced old age. Then the change called death take place when we change to a new body, just as we change our old dress to a new dress. This is called transmigration of the soul. People should first be taught what they are. Are they their bodies or something else? That is the beginning of education. Now everyone is educated to think that he is this body. Because someone accidentally gets an American body, he thinks I am an American. This is just like thinking I am a red shirt. Just because you are wearing a red shirt, you're not a red shirt. You are a human being. Similarly, this body is like a shirt or a coat over the real person, the spirit soul. If we recognize ourselves simply by our bodily shirt or coat, then we have no spiritual education. So here, here Prabhupada is, just give me a minute. So in the last two sessions, we understood that we should be raising uh, questions, uh, relevant question to the spiritual authorities. And by getting the answers to those questions, a human being make progress. Now, our current education system, it is just concerned with the four aspect, which is eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, and how to solve these problems more sophisticatedly. How to eat very nicely, how to mate very nicely, how to sleep very nicely, how to defend very nicely. All the education is just pertaining to that. And everyone is, because of not imparting this knowledge of the soul, everyone is now on the bodily platform of life. Everyone is thinking, I'm American, I'm Australian, I'm Indian. So on these aspects, people are thinking, and the root cause is that our education system is just teaching them uh, how to maintain this body, or the body is the most important thing, because everything, all the knowledge is concerned with, we are being taught from the start to end in all the schools, college, university, how to earn money, how to earn money to sophisticatedly eat, sleep, mate, or defend. So so we all get covered into the bodily concept of life, that we are this body, how nicely we have to maintain this body, how much opulence we can attain for this body. And no one is talking about soul. And because of that, only from childhood till death, only one is just thinking about how to earn more and more, how to store more and more for our future generation. But they don't know that this body is meant to finish within no time, and the soul then will get another body. And same will be the case with all our future generations as well. So we may be storing so much of money for our future generation, maybe for our kids or grandkids, but they are also undergoing the same change. So it's not that if we may be thinking, oh, we have done so much for our child, we have gathered so much of wealth for our child, but that is of no use. Why? Because if everyone is just sitting on a chariot of this body, and after some time this chariot is getting finished, then another chariot, and then after every death there is a forgetfulness. They can't even remember what they were in their past life, how much wealth they have. Neither they can trace it back, they can again get it back. No, we ourselves can understand, we all have taken millions of birth. In each birth we cannot remember. Even right now we all cannot remember what we were in our past birth, how much wealth we have acquired in our past birth. So within the span of 60, 70 years, whatever we have acquired, then again this body is finished. We can't remember what we have acquired in the last birth, what to speak about millions of birth that we have taken. So it's all just futile attempt. So real education begins with understanding that who you really are. And spiritual subject matter, they are dealing with this science only, that who you really are. First, you understand who you are, then you can be saved from so much of time waste. So right now, all the countries, whatever they are doing, US is considering, all everyone in US is considering, oh, they are American. All the other person should be thrown out from their countries, or there should be war against different countries, and that way they should acquire more and more wealth for themselves or for their future generation. But they don't know, after finish of their body, after finish of their US body, they may be born as a dog in maybe Indian street. So what about talking about all this patriotism, all these aspects? Because anyways has no value, because you are all after some time changing your body again. So right now you may be against some particular country, but you are not sure that in next birth you may be born as a national of that country only, and then you curse another country that why another country is attacking us. So because of not having this knowledge, everyone is covered. All these leaders, they are of 70 80 years of age, but they are just covered in the bodily concept of life. They don't know that they are spirit, soul, part and parcel of Krishna. And that's why all their rules, regulations, policies, they are not at all really beneficial for anyone. Earlier, the king was aware. So, because this Bhagavad Gita is known as king of all the knowledge, and it is meant for all the kings. So, they understand that every living entity is part and parcel of Krishna. What is their eternal constitutional position? And what is their real aim? So, all the rulers, they were ruling in such a fashion that people will get a peaceful life. They will have evidence to eat. They don't have to work very hard. Uh, and they can be peaceful to think about God or for the higher subject matters. And in old age, they will be taken care by their family members. They can be free to completely devote their life to Krishna consciousness. Uh, Even every day as well, every day earlier in the villages till very recently, before mobile phones, internet, everything has taken over. The means of entertainment was that every evening people will hear Bhagavad Katha. So there is Bhagavad Saptah everywhere. In all the villages, it was going on. People were hearing the glories of the Lord, and that way they are understanding about themselves. Now, the problem is that all the speakers, 99% of the speaker of Bhagavatam are also just bodily conscious. They themselves are not aware that they are not this body. They are just engaged into materialism. So when they speak, they are just talking on the bodily platform only. So the hearer of the Shrimad Bhagavatam um, are also not getting any benefit, because the person who is speaking, he cannot understand that he is not this body, he is spirit soul. He's just speaking so that he can get more and more wealth. Sometimes these Bhagavad speakers, they directly start talking about the Ras Leela of Lord without explaining that who Lord really is. So if we see Shrimad Bhagavatam, there are nine cantos which are talking about that who is Lord, and then the 10th canto is explaining about the Ras Leela. But these speaker, they directly start talking about Ras Leela, and the other people, they think, oh, when Krishna is doing Ras Leela, why can't we do it? So the speaker also goes to hell, and the all the audience who is listening to these Bhagavad Katha, they also go to hell because of incomplete understanding. So first one has to understand that who he is, and the spiritual subject matter, spiritual scriptures. They're explaining that we are the spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna, and the spirit soul is of the most importance, because this spirit soul, that is something which remain constant. The outside covering, this body, is no different from this wall, because if you see, the ingredient is all same. This body is not at all different from even the soil. The So to prove this, you can understand that when this body is finished, in some religion they bury the body. So after being buried, uh, all the insects, all the worms in soil, they consume the body of a living entity, and then again they convert it into soil only. Earthworm and all, they all consume this body, and again they excrete the soil out of them, and so this body again change into soil. Similarly, in some religion they burn this body, like in our religion. So after being burned, again this body get converted into ashes, again become soil. In some religion they, uh, like in Parsi religion, Zoroastrian religion, they take this body once the soul is out from this body. They know that this body is useless. They throw it in forest for all these animals to eat over that body. They think that this body should be utilized for some higher purpose. So they, rather than burning it, rather than burying it, they throw it in forest, and then all these animals, they eat the body, and then again they excrete the body as part of their excreta. So again it becomes soil. So this body is made up of soil. Again it get converted into soil. So there is no difference between this body or a brick, because earth, water, fire, ether. So if you take earth, mix some water, heat it over fire, then it will become brick. And with this brick, you make houses. So in reality, there is no difference between your this body or the content of the brick. So this body is at all not important, not very important. But all the education system, all the advertisement that you will see, it's all just talking about body. You apply this cosmetic, you do this Botox, you do this particular surgery to look good. It's all just handling of the same brick. So it's not at all important. But now the human energy is completely wasted in how to make this brick look beautiful. So it's just like we all have heard about that story that a boy, he got one bird, and he was very much attached to the bird. So he put it into golden cage. Daily he was washing that golden cage, decorating that golden cage, but he was not giving any food to that bird. So ultimately, that golden cage is for the bird. Bird was important, but what he was doing, he was just polishing the cage, not giving any food to the bird. And ultimately, the bird dies. So all the effort has gone into vain, because ultimately that cage is meant for that soul, that bird. So same is the case. So we are right now, whatever we are doing is only meant for this body, but the soul is dying. So we may be thinking we are working very hard, we are earning so much, we are going to different restaurant, we are eating so much of nice palatable dishes, we are watching so good content, but this all is just relevant to this body only. Whatever you are eating is just for the body, and this body anyways, even if you eat a simple meal, or you may go to a five-star restaurant, have a seven-star dining experience, then also it's just the concerned with your body only. And this body anyways is defined that okay, after taking these many breaths, this body is meant to be finished. So if you spend all your energy in just polishing the cage or taking care of this body, then definitely you are wasting this human form of life. And then also there is no guarantee after this particular birth. You're not sure that what kind of birth you may get, because according to your activities, whatever you're doing, Um, it's not always guaranteed that you will get human form of life. You may get any form of life out of 84 lakh species of uh, insect, birds, trees, animals. You can get anybody. Why? Because the material energy of the Lord, who decides that what kind of body you are going to take, decides based on how good you utilize this human form. If you utilize it for its real purpose to understand your position in this material world and to make a solution to all your this problem, then you will get and if in this life you'll not get perfected, then you will again get a human form of life. But in case this material energy of the Lord, she identified that, oh, the only thing that you did in this life is to eat non-vegetarian food stuff. Um, you are very much attached to it. So then this material energy of the Lord, she understood that, oh, your aim is actually to eat non-vegetarian food stuff. And this human form of body, how much non-veg you can take. Because in human form of life, even there is a mutton chicken you are eating, but you have to take chapati also with it, rice also with it. You cannot just eat non-vegetarian food stuff. But you want to eat only non-vegetarian food stuff, so this body is not fit for you. Better she should give you some carnivorous animal body, some tiger's body, lion body, so that you can enjoy your this propensity to the full. You can just eat raw meat because that is what you want to do in this life. Or suppose you just want to enjoy swimming. So how much you can swim because your body is limited. You can, if you will remain in inside water for so long, then your skin will develop a lot of diseases or different conditions. So you cannot, how much you can satisfy your propensity of swimming. So better you get a fish body so that you can always remain inside the water. So according to whatever your desires are, you get different kinds of body. But if your desire is to understand yourself, to really solve all this problem, then only you will get this human form of life again. So this human form of life, because of our past desire that, oh, maybe this life is getting wasted, but again I will like to try and come out of the cycle of birth and death. Because of your this desire, maybe a tiny desire, minute desire, you got this human form of life. So in this birth, you should fan this desire and understand about yourself and then return back home back to God. Not to take another body or not because of wasting all your energy in just polishing the cage. Don't do it. And so we are talking about that earlier education system is not at all dealing with just the outside. It's not just dealing with the cage, not just dealing with the body, which unfortunately so-called current education is. So earlier, the first understanding that is imparted to the student is that they are not this body, they are the spirit soul. And everything related with the spirit soul is being taught. And in Bhagavad Gita as well, we can see that the subject matter is not that how you earn very nicely, how you eat very nicely, how you sleep very nicely. No. The subject matter is that who you are, what is your relationship with the Lord, what is this material energy, what is this time, what is karma, and how you act, because this karma, out of all of this, karma is something which can be changed because soul is there, super soul, Ishwar is there, time is eternal, everything is eternal, all the other things, material manifestation is eternal. Only the karma is not eternal. So how to change your karma? because that is something which is not eternal. How to change your karma so that you get the real benefit. So how to act in association with the Lord, in relationship with the Lord, to come out of this all entanglement. And that action can only be possible once you understand your real situation. So here it is mentioned that you yourself, with your intelligence, can see that right now you have a particular kind of body. As soon as you took your birth, you got a body, and you can remember that, because even though the body has changed, but the person, the real I, the real soul inside the body is still the same. And that's why you can understand, that's why you can remember, oh, once I was a small child, I was playing in a park, I was playing in a backyard, I was playing with my parents, I was playing with my siblings, I was playing with my friends. That you can remember. And then you can also remember when you are a boyhood, or when you attain boyhood or girlhood, that you were going to school, you were reading along with all your fellow um, classmates. Teacher is coming, and then all the other sports that you are playing, all the other activities that you are doing. And then you become young, you get married. So all those things you can remember, and you can also see that you don't have the same body as you have earlier. You earlier have a child body, then you have a adult's body, grown-up's body, and now you may be having a middle-aged body. So, and then we can understand that soon we will have an old body. So at every stage of our life, this body is anyways something which has covered us. We are associated with this body. So it's no surprise that after leaving this body also we'll have another body, because this soul is always, from the past so much of time, we can see that this soul is being covered with body. So later on as well, after leaving this body, again the soul will get covered with another kind of body. So this body is not very important. From millions of years, the soul is anyways covered with some or the other body. So that is not at all important. And what the thing that is important is this soul, because that is the only thing which is constant. This body, even if you get of a king or a beggar, it's of no uh, difference. Maybe as a king, you may eat very lavish food stuff. As a beggar, you may eat very basic food stuff. But then also, quality of life is the same. If beggar, when he feels hungry, even though he may be eating a plain chapati or plain rice, it tastes the same, because it's all depend on the hunger. So the standard of enjoyment remain the same. If you see the kids of a labor outside, they may be playing with the stones, they may be playing with the sand, but the enjoyment that they derive playing with the sand or playing with the stone is same compared to a very rich child maybe playing with Barbie doll, playing with a very sophisticated toy. Enjoyment, the level of enjoyment remains the same, because enjoyment is something you are deriving from inside, and that depend upon your feelings. So there is no difference in enjoyment. It's same like whether you look at the time from a normal watch, maybe 200 rupees watch, or whether you look at the time from a very costly uh, Rolex watch worth lakhs of rupees, then also the time is also going to be the same. The enjoyment that you derive from looking at the time also remain the same. The feeling of that watch on your wrist also remain the same, because it's all inside. So this matter, this material things doesn't matter much. And spending all your energy in just, rather than having a 200 watch, should be having a Rolex watch. If you are spending all your energy in those aspects, then you are wasting your human effort, wasting your human form of life. Because ultimately, if you don't realize that who you really are and wasted all your time and energy in acquiring something for this body, and which and this body anyways is going to finish in no time, because your counter is also always ticking, which each breath you inhale and exhale, your counter is going down and down and down, because from the very birth, the number of breaths that you are going to take is already decided, already counted, which each passing breath, that counter is going down. And as soon as it is struck zero, your this body will be finished. So initially, all the aim of this pranayam and everything was um, to work in such a fashion. So they are inhaling and exhaling in such a fashion so they maintain an equilibrium. And with practice, they prolong the period of their inhaling and exhaling. So initially they inhale and exhale once in a day, then once in a week, then once in 6 months. Like that, they increase their lifespan, because this breathing is something which is fixed. And earlier people knew this. So this pranayam and everything, all the aim of all this hatha yoga practice is that you breathe in and breathe out in such a fashion, going out into the Himalayas or into a forest. You breathe in, breathe out so slowly that you can elongate your lifespan. And to elongate your lifespan, the main aim is that because right now you got this human form of life, you realize yourself, you understand your relationship with the Lord, you again establish that relationship, and you return back home, back to Godhead. So, normally, people may live for 80 years, but these yogis, these yogis and all, they may live for 500 years, 1000 years, or even more. So that within this body, they realize themselves and they go back home, back to God. But that thing is very easily allotted to us. We don't have to go to forest. We don't have to go to Himalayas. Very easily, we can chant the holy name Hare Krishna Mahamantra and realize ourselves within the short span of 60, 70, 80 years and go back home, back to God. And then all our problems will be solved, because the real problem is not to solve your bread problem, not to solve your house problem, not to solve your mortgage problem. Real problem is how to actually go to a particular situation where there is no problem. That is known as Vakuntha. Kuntha means an anxiety. Vakuntha means place which is free from all these anxiety. And that place is spiritual world. So how to go back to spiritual world where we actually belong? So everything is meant for that purpose. So any question till this point of time from anyone? Um, Sorry, so Android, I can't get their name. I can rename them in Zoom. Uh, is it Padma Kumar Prabhu or any other devotee? So any question with anyone that I would like to understand? So Prabhupada is talking about this only, that our materialistic society with its unenlightened leadership has made it virtually taboo to inquire into real higher self. So our society is made in such a fashion. Everything that is made, if you switch on a TV, they're all the actors and actresses, they're all acting, or they really believe as well that they're just this body. All the movies that you watch, they're just talking about how a girl and boy, they fell into love and they marry and then they live happily ever after. So they don't know that after marriage there will be old age and then death. So how they can live happily ever after? And that love is also displaced, because the real love doesn't mean that you love somebody for some years and then you die and then you love another body for some more time. So it may be shown that a actor, this hero, is very loyal. He's just loving this particular heroine only. But that is just for this birth. Another birth, because you can't even find your last life love. You will again find another person, you again love that person. So the reality is that rather than loving so many persons, you should love God from whom you have come from. So everyone is part and parcel of Krishna, and this loving propensity should be put into Krishna, not into anyone else. So the first step is to know the difference between living body and a dead body. What is the difference? The difference is that when someone dies, the spirit soul or living force leaves the body. So that's why we can see till the time we are living, our body remain intact. As soon as someone dies, within few hours, the body start stinking so badly that people even near and dear, when they say that, oh, just take this body and burn it or bury it, whatever it is. You can't even, the body whom you love for so long, as soon as the soul is left, you know that immediately we have to do last rite of this body. Otherwise, this body start to decompose and then to emit so much of foul smell that you can't even have that body here in this house. So why this happens? So this body remain fresh for so long, for 80 years, and within few hours it start to decompose. Why? Because the soul, the real ingredient of the body, is now no more inside that body. So it's soul which is everything. As soon as the soul is gone, you may have very beautiful body, you may have very powerful body, but that body will decompose in no time. Therefore, the body is called dead. Body is always dead actually. It's just dead matter. And the soul which is carrying this body is actually everything. And because of the soul, which is the consciousness, and as per scriptures, we know this that the blood carries the consciousness, and because blood is going throughout our body, we feel consciousness. So that's why if someone will pinch our leg, we feel pain because the consciousness is being carried from the soul, which is sitting in the heart, to all our body through the blood. So wherever we have blood, we will feel pain. So if we pinch our hand, we will feel pain. If we pinch our leg, we will feel pain. But where the blood is not there, like the nails, we know nails is not having blood supplies. Um, so wherever the blood is less, blood flow is less. So nails, if you cut, you will not feel pain. Here, if you will cut, you will not feel pain because blood is not flowing in those items. If you cut any place where blood is flowing, blood start coming out, you will feel pain. Why? Because this consciousness of the soul is traveling throughout your body through this blood. So, so there are two things: one, the body, and the other, the living force within the body. We speak of the living force within the body. That is the difference between science of Krishna consciousness, which is spiritual, and ordinary material science. Ordinary material science, it's not at all talking about who you really are. They're saying, oh, you make a rocket, you go to different planet. But what is the use of going to different planet? You can't even know yourself. What you will do knowing Mars, knowing Moon, knowing Jupiter, if you can't understand yourself? And you waste all your energy in going to Mars, going to Moon, and then you will finish in no time. Like you wasted all your life energy. You worked for 80 years, but you try to gather some sand, some rocks from Moon or from Mars, and for that purpose you wasted all your time and energy. So the rock, and then you saw that those rocks are similar to the rocks that are found in Earth, or you gather some soil from Mars or Moon. What is the benefit of this if you don't spend any energy in understanding yourself? Because about all this planetary system, how they are, the real knowledge is already there in the Vedas. If you see Shrimad Bhagavatam, fifth canto, it's anyways talking about all these different planets, even the lives in different planets. All knowledge is there, but that's not important. That's why our Vedic knowledge, they're just talking about little about these all aspects, because that is not very important for you. They are also covered by the illusory energy of the Lord. Similarly, you are also covered. So talking about those living entities, talking about the different climatic condition of those planets is not at all important. Talking about different countries, their climate, this all things are not there in our scriptures. How you can earn very nicely, how you can sleep very nicely, this all is not the subject matter of our scripture. The subject matter is how within this birth itself you perfect yourself, you understand your situation in this material world, and you go back home back to Godhead. That is the subject matter. So you can understand it at any moment. It requires a little intelligence. So, like we discussed already, that this body is always changing. You have this boy body, adult's body, middle-aged person body, and then old body. So, body is always changing, but the occupier of the body, the soul, remain the same. So we should logically conclude that when our present body dies, we get another body, and this is called transmigration of the soul. So first thing that we all have to understand is that we are the spirit soul. Because we are the spirit soul, we are changing our body. And that is the ABC of spiritual understanding. So when our body is finished or annihilated, we are not finished. We get another body. Just like coat and shirt. So all the education system that we have, it's just talking about the shirt and coat. How to press this shirt, how to wash this coat, how to stitch this coat. So how to feed this body, how to make this body sleep, how to enjoy with this body, how to cover it with Rolls-Royce watch, how to cover it with a nice coat. So this all is actually not at all important. So similarly, each time you die, you change this body, but you, the spirit soul within the body, remain the same, and this point has to be understood. Then you can make further progress in the science of Krishna consciousness. And this spirit soul is invisible to our material eyes because it is atomic in size. We cannot see it. Just like if a air is flowing, a breeze is flowing through a garden of rose, then you can smell the fragrance, but you cannot see the fragrance. So fragrance means that it has some minute um, aspect of that rose is there in that air, and that's why you can breathe in that fragrance, but you cannot see anything. Some chemical of that rose is there, but you cannot see it. Similarly, when the spirit soul moves from one body to another body, you cannot see it. There are so many things we cannot see. The way we cannot see fragrance, even though we have developed so much of nice telescope, we have developed so nice uh, uh, sophisticated optical instruments, microscope to see the microscopic thing. But then also, if you say someone that, oh, you look into the air and see the how the fragrance chemicals are there in the air, you cannot see it. Even right now, the technological advancement has not come to that level that you can see it. Similarly, till now, you are not come to that much of advancement that you can see the soul. But soul is there, and scriptures are talking about it that it is so small. It's compared to the, if you take the tip of the hair, how much size it will take. Just a tiny, tiny dot. And if you divide that dot into 10,000 part, and then you take one part, that is the dimension of the soul. So such a small dimension, but all the importance is given to that soul only. And once a body is finished, then this minute soul travel from one body to another body. There is a complete thing, everything is given in the scriptures, that how this soul then goes on, become cloud, then after the rain, it goes into vegetation. When people eat that, the soul again enter into the body, And then through the semen, the soul is transferred from a male body to woman's body, and then the souls grows a body, and then a child comes out. So everything, it's a sophisticated arrangement which is there, from which the soul transfer from one body to another body. So this all is there. Any questions till um, this point of time? If there, you can raise it. Otherwise, we'll finish this session here. I'll cover it again in the next week. So thanks everyone for your time and patience. So we'll meet again next week, and then we'll yeah. Is there any question, bro?
Prabhu, the soul is living within the body, so we take care of the body, right?
Yes, correct. But the important thing is not to spend all your energy in taking care of the body, because this body anyways will remain just for a, like I already told you that your breaths are counted. This body will remain only for some time. So if you spend all your energy in taking care of the body without taking care of the soul, then it's a waste of time. It's just like you have the cage, golden cage, and bird is inside. You're not feeding the bird, you are just polishing the cage. Then it's a waste of effort.
But it's saying in that 17th chapter about the food and goodness, so wholesome, and that it will give energy to the
Yeah,
body.
yeah. So
So, but a poor
everything.
man is eating a small piece of chapati with some onion, and then king is eating good food. So, what? How does that sentiment there?
So the point here is that, so anyways, eating with the onion is not recommended. So in
But
Bhagavad
I'm saying
Gita,
some
there,
poor
yeah,
guy who doesn't know Bhagavad Gita.
if he doesn't know Bhagavad Gita, everything is, it's all about karma, Prabhu. So the point is that those who have become beggars, there is a associated karma with it. In the scriptures, it is being told that one who do Vaishnava offense, they in the next birth certainly will become beggars. So, because if a Vaishnava is trying to give some knowledge and people are not, and someone like offend that Vaishnava, or they think, oh, I am doing some better duties, I'm such a rich person, I'm such a businessman, such an industrialist, they don't take that knowledge, offense, commit an offense, then in the next birth, by the law of nature, they become beggar. So, so that is, anyways, that is a different subject matter. That is about law of karma. We'll talk about it later. But the essential point is that at least we, maybe beggar is not getting the knowledge, but we are getting this knowledge. So at least we should think about ourselves. So Bhagavad Gita is being told, it's a king of knowledge. It's being told that what kind of food you should eat. So food should be in mode of goodness. You should eat fresh food stuff, offer it to the Lord, and then accept it. So the purpose is that the food, even though there is a plain chapati you may be eating, you may not be a king, you may be a normal person, you may be eating a plain chapati, but you offer it to Krishna and then you accept it. Then the food becomes spiritualized. Why? Because we become what we eat. So because we are, if we are eating like Krishna conscious food, our body will also become spiritualized slowly and gradually, because our body is getting made with whatever food stuff that we are eating. So if we are eating Krishna Prasadam, then slowly and gradually, everything, all the cells of our body are being made with the food, Krishna conscious food. So body will become spiritualized. That is, it become more and more conducive to understand our real position. Getting it?
Hare
So
Krishna.
yeah. So the point is that you may be eating very nice food stuff, but if it is not offered to Krishna, you may be eating like a king, but it is not offered to Krishna, then it's of no value, because food is carrying the consciousness. Uh, if your cook is preparing the food stuff, but cook has all the dirty thoughts about the illicit sex and everything, if you eat that food, you also develop those kind of thoughts. If the food is nicely made by your wife, your mother, thinking that, oh, I'll offer it to Krishna, or by yourself only, even though you make a simple rice or a simple chapati, but you made it in a consciousness that this is for the pleasure of Lord, and then you offer it to Lord, offering all the um, prayers. So there are prayers, authorized prayers already given in the scriptures. You offer it to the Lord, and then Lord accept it, even though we may not be able to see how Lord accept, because he's completely spiritual. He can accept it even by looking at it, and then we accept it. then it will do the real good. Then our consciousness will become purified. Because our consciousness can only become purified in relationship with Krishna. So chanting is also, this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is also uh, non-different than Krishna. So if we hear it, this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, that means we are associating with Krishna, our consciousness become purified. If we eat the food offered to Krishna, because it's being already touched by the lips of Krishna, we become purified. So the aim of all this Bhagavad Gita is also how we become purified. Does that answer your question, Prabhu? Sorry, I miss your name. Is it Padma Kumar, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, okay. Earlier you joined from another phone. Yeah. So is that answer your question, Prabhu?
Yes, I'm just doing it from the computer now. Before I was on the phone. Hare Krishna.
Okay, okay, okay. No issues. So any other questions? Otherwise, we'll discuss the remaining aspect in the next session.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thanks for joining, Prabhu.